What if I told you that your mind is literally programmed to accept poverty, and that every single day you wake up, you're unconsciously reinforcing patterns that keep you broke? What if I told you that right now, as you're listening to this, your subconscious mind is actively rejecting the very abundance you claim you want? Here's the truth that's going to shatter everything you think you know about wealth creation. Your mind doesn't just attract what you think about. It only accepts what it believes it deserves. And right now, your mind has been conditioned to believe that struggle, limitation, and financial stress are your natural state. But here's where this gets absolutely mind-blowing. Wattles discovered over a century ago that there's a scientific method, an exact process, to literally reprogram your mind to accept only abundance. Not just attract it, not just hope for it, but to make abundance the only reality your mind will accept. And when your mind accepts only abundance, poverty becomes literally impossible in your life. It gets rejected at the subconscious level before it can even take root. Most people are walking around with what I call poverty programming, running in the background of their minds 24/7. They're like computers infected with a virus that automatically deletes any wealth-building opportunities that come their way. They see the opportunities. They might even get excited about them. But something deep inside them sabotages every attempt to create lasting wealth. They'll find reasons why it won't work. They'll procrastinate. They'll get distracted. They'll make excuses. And they'll never understand that it's not their fault. It's their programming. You see, the thinking substance that Wattles wrote about, this infinite intelligence that surrounds us and flows through us, it's constantly trying to bring us abundance. But here's the catch. It can only give us what our minds are prepared to accept. If your mind is programmed to accept struggle, that's what you'll get. If your mind is programmed to accept just enough, that's your ceiling. But when you reprogram your mind to accept only abundance, to literally reject poverty at the mental level, something extraordinary happens. The universe has no choice but to flood your life with wealth, because that's the only signal your mind is broadcasting. Now, I know what you're thinking, oh, this sounds too good to be true. And that thought right there, that's poverty programming talking. See, poverty programming always disguises itself as being realistic or practical. It tells you that unlimited abundance is impossible, that you need to be grateful for what you have, that wanting more is somehow greedy or wrong. But here's what Wattles discovered. The universe is infinite. There's no shortage of anything. The only shortage exists in minds that have been programmed to accept limitation. What I'm going to share with you in the next few minutes isn't just theory. It's not positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's a scientific method that's been tested and proven by thousands of people who've used it to completely transform their financial reality. You're going to learn the exact mental techniques that force your subconscious mind to reject poverty and accept only abundance. You're going to discover how to identify and eliminate the hidden poverty programming that's been sabotaging your wealth creation. And most importantly, you're going to learn how to install new programming that makes abundance automatic in your life. By the time we're done here, you'll have a completely different relationship with money and abundance. You'll understand why you've been struggling financially, and you'll have the exact tools to change that forever. You'll know how to think like the wealthy think, how to make decisions like the wealthy make decisions, and how to create wealth like the wealthy create wealth. And the best part, this isn't about working harder or finding the perfect business opportunity. This is about changing your mental programming so that abundance becomes as natural to you as breathing. The first principle that will revolutionize your relationship with money is this. Your mind is currently programmed to seek evidence that supports your existing beliefs about money, and it will reject any evidence that contradicts those beliefs. This is called confirmation bias, and it's the invisible force that keeps people trapped in poverty. If you believe deep down that you're not worthy of wealth, your mind will find 1,000 reasons why every opportunity won't work for you. If you believe that money is hard to come by, your mind will make sure you only see the obstacles and never the possibilities. But here's where this gets really powerful. When you understand how your mind filters reality, you can intentionally reprogram those filters. See, your subconscious mind is like a search engine that's constantly scanning your environment for information that matches your internal programming. Right now, it's probably programmed to notice all the reasons why you can't have more money. It notices the bills. It notices the expenses. It notices the competition. It notices the problems. And it completely ignores the opportunities, the possibilities, and the abundance that's all around you. Wattles called this the difference between competitive thinking and creative thinking. Competitive thinking is always focused on what's wrong, what's missing, what's difficult. It sees a world of scarcity where you have to fight for your piece of the pie. But creative thinking sees infinite possibility. It sees a universe where there's more than enough for everyone, where wealth can be created out of thin air through the power of organized thought and intelligent action. Here's how you start reprogramming your mental filters right now. For the next 30 days, I want you to become a detective for abundance. Your job is to actively look for evidence that abundance is everywhere. Notice how much money is flowing through your city every single day. Notice how many people are buying things, investing in things, spending money on things. Notice how many successful businesses are thriving. Notice how many people are living abundant lives. Your mind has been programmed to filter out this information, but when you consciously direct your attention to it, you'll be amazed at how much abundance is actually surrounding you right now. But here's the crucial part. You can't just notice abundance occasionally. You have to make it a habit. You have to train your mind to automatically look for abundance instead of scarcity. This is what Wattles meant when he talked about harmonizing with the thinking substance. You're literally tuning your mind to the frequency of abundance that's already present in the universe. The second principle that will completely change your financial reality is this. Your mind doesn't know the difference between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience. This is the secret behind what Wattles called the formation of clear mental images. When you create a detailed mental picture of the abundant life you want to live, and you hold that picture in your mind with absolute conviction, your subconscious mind begins to accept that image as your reality. But most people do this completely wrong. They create vague fantasies about being rich, but they don't make those images real enough to convince their subconscious mind. They might daydream about having money, but they don't create the specific, detailed, emotionally charged mental images that actually reprogram their minds. Here's the exact process that works. First, you need to create what I call your abundance blueprint. This is a detailed mental movie of your ideal abundant life, but it can't be generic. It has to be specific. How much money do you have in your bank account? What does your house look like? What car do you drive? What clothes do you wear? What does your typical day look like? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning? How do you feel when you go to bed at night? The more specific and detailed your abundance blueprint, the more real it becomes to your subconscious mind. And here's the key. You need to experience this mental movie with all your senses. You need to see it, hear it, feel it, smell it, taste it. You need to make it so vivid and so real that your subconscious mind can't tell the difference between your imagination and your actual experience. Now, here's where most people get this wrong. They create their abundance blueprint, but they don't spend enough time with it. They might visualize for 5 minutes and then forget about it for the rest of the day. But that's not how programming works. If you want to reprogram your mind, you need to consistently feed it the new information. You need to review your abundance blueprint at least twice a day, every single day, until it becomes more real to your subconscious mind than your current circumstances. But visualization alone isn't enough. You also need to generate the emotions that you would feel if you were already living that abundant life. You need to feel the excitement, the joy, the peace, the confidence, the gratitude, because your subconscious mind is programmed by emotion, not just by images. When you combine vivid mental images with powerful positive emotions, you create what Wattles called impressed feeling, and that's what actually changes your mental programming. The third principle that will transform your relationship with money is this. Gratitude is the most powerful wealth-building emotion you can cultivate, but only if you practice it correctly. Most people think gratitude means being thankful for what they already have. But Wattles discovered that the most powerful form of gratitude is being thankful for the abundance that's already on its way to you. You see, when you're grateful for what you already have, you're acknowledging your current reality. But when you're grateful for the abundance that's coming to you, you're actually programming your mind to expect and receive that abundance. You're creating what Wattles called a harmonic relationship with the thinking substance, and that's what allows abundance to flow into your life. Here's how this works in practice. Every morning when you wake up, before you even get out of bed, I want you to spend 5 minutes being grateful for the wealth that's already on its way to you. Not wealth you hope might come, not wealth you're trying to attract, wealth that's already yours, that's already been set in motion by the universe, that's already flowing toward you. Thank the universe for the money that's coming to you today. Thank the universe for the opportunities that are about to present themselves. Thank the universe for the abundance that's about to overflow in your life. This isn't wishful thinking. This is scientific programming. When you consistently practice gratitude for future abundance, you're training your mind to expect abundance. And when your mind expects abundance, it automatically looks for ways to create abundance. It notices opportunities that it would have missed before. It comes up with ideas that it wouldn't have generated before. It takes actions that it wouldn't have taken before. But here's the critical part. You have to feel genuine gratitude, not just say the words. You have to generate the actual emotion of gratitude as if the abundance has already arrived. This is what Wattles called advancing gratitude, and it's one of the most powerful techniques for reprogramming your mind to accept only abundance. The fourth principle that will revolutionize your wealth creation is this. Your mind is either in creation mode or competition mode, and these two modes produce completely different results. When your mind is in competition mode, you're focused on getting your share of what already exists. You're worried about other people taking your opportunities. You're concerned about the economy, about your job security, about whether there's enough to go around. Competition mode is scarcity-based thinking, and it can only produce scarcity-based results. But when your mind is in creation mode, you're focused on bringing something new into existence. You're not worried about what other people are doing because you're creating your own opportunities. You're not concerned about the economy because you're creating your own economy. You're not worried about job security because you're creating your own security through your ability to generate value and wealth. Wattles called this creative thinking, and it's the foundation of all true wealth creation. When you're thinking creatively, you're not trying to take something away from someone else. You're not trying to compete for limited resources. You're partnering with the infinite intelligence of the universe to create something that didn't exist before. Here's how you shift from competition mode to creation mode. First, you need to eliminate what I call scarcity triggers from your mental diet. Stop watching news that focuses on economic problems. Stop listening to people who complain about money. Stop engaging in conversations about how hard it is to make money. All of these inputs program your mind for competition mode. Instead, start feeding your mind with creation-based information. Read books about entrepreneurs who created wealth from nothing. Study stories of people who solved problems and got paid for it. Learn about innovations that created new industries. Surround yourself with people who think creatively about money and opportunities. But most importantly, start asking yourself creation-based questions instead of competition-based questions. Instead of asking, how can I get more money? Ask, how can I create more value? Instead of asking, how can I compete with others? Ask, how can I serve others in a way that's never been done before? Instead of asking, how can I take a bigger piece of the pie? Ask, how can I create a bigger pie? When you consistently ask creation-based questions, your mind automatically starts generating creation-based answers. And creation-based answers lead to creation-based actions, which lead to creation-based results. The fifth principle that will completely transform your financial reality is this. Your mind can only hold one dominant thought at a time, and that dominant thought determines your entire experience of reality. Right now, your dominant thought about money is probably something like, I don't have enough, do you? Or, it's hard to make money. Or, I can't afford that. And as long as that's your dominant thought, that's the reality your mind will create for you. But when you learn to make abundance your dominant thought, everything changes. When your mind is dominated by thoughts of abundance, you automatically think abundant thoughts, make abundant decisions, take abundant actions, and create abundant results. It's not about positive thinking or wishful thinking. It's about mental dominance. Here's how you establish mental dominance over abundance. First, you need to become aware of your current dominant thoughts about money. Most people have no idea what they're actually thinking about money most of the time. They're just unconsciously repeating the same poverty-based thoughts over and over again. So for the next week, I want you to pay attention to your automatic thoughts about money. Notice what you think when you see prices. Notice what you think when you pay bills. Notice what you think when you see wealthy people. Notice what you think when you see business opportunities. Once you become aware of your current dominant thoughts, you can start replacing them with abundance-based thoughts. But you can't just replace them once or twice. You need to replace them consistently, repeatedly, obsessively. Every time you catch yourself thinking a poverty-based thought, immediately replace it with an abundance-based thought. For example, If you catch yourself thinking, "I can't afford that," immediately replace it with, "I choose not to buy that right now, but I have unlimited ability to create wealth." If you catch yourself thinking, "Money is hard to make," immediately replace it with, "Money flows to me easily when I create value for others." If you catch yourself thinking, "I don't have enough," immediately replace it with, "I have access to infinite abundance through my ability to think and create." The key is to make abundance thoughts so automatic that they become your new default programming. This is what Wattles called developing certain faith. It's not blind faith or wishful faith. It's certain faith based on your understanding of how the mind works and how abundance is created. The sixth principle that will revolutionize your wealth creation is this: your mind is constantly giving you instructions on how to create abundance, but you're probably not listening. Wattles called this intelligent action, and it's the bridge between mental programming and physical results. When your mind is properly programmed for abundance, it will automatically guide you toward the actions that will create abundance in your life. But here's the problem. Most people are so caught up in their daily routines and habits that they don't notice the intuitive guidance their minds are providing. They're so busy reacting to their circumstances that they miss the creative impulses that could transform their circumstances. Intelligent action isn't about working harder or being more disciplined. It's about being more aware of the guidance that's already available to you. When your mind is programmed for abundance, it will naturally generate ideas, insights, and impulses that lead to abundant results. But you have to be paying attention to receive this guidance. Here's how you tune into the intelligent action that your mind is trying to give you. First, you need to create space for inspiration to come through. This means spending time in quiet contemplation, away from distractions, where you can actually hear your inner guidance. Most people are so busy consuming information and reacting to external stimuli that they never create space for their own intelligence to come through. Second, you need to learn to distinguish between intelligent action and busy work. Intelligent action always feels inspired and energizing. It feels like the right thing to do, even if you can't logically explain why. Busy work feels forced and draining. It's action for the sake of action, without any real connection to your abundance goals. Third, you need to develop the habit of acting on inspiration when it comes. Most people get inspired ideas all the time, but they don't act on them. They make excuses, they procrastinate, they wait for the perfect time, they talk themselves out of it. But inspiration is time-sensitive. When you get an inspired idea, you need to act on it immediately, or it will fade away. The seventh principle that will transform your financial reality is this: your mind is constantly creating your future through the quality of your present moment thoughts. And most people are unconsciously creating a future of financial struggle because they're not managing their present moment thinking. Wattles discovered that the thinking substance is always responding to your current mental state, not your past experiences or your future goals. What you're thinking and feeling right now is literally creating your future circumstances. This is both the most empowering and the most terrifying truth about wealth creation. It's empowering because it means you have complete control over your financial future, regardless of your past or current circumstances. It's terrifying because it means you're responsible for every financial result you're currently experiencing. But here's the good news. Once you understand this principle, you can start using it to your advantage. Instead of unconsciously creating more of what you don't want, you can consciously create more of what you do want. Every moment becomes an opportunity to program your future abundance. Here's how you master present moment abundance thinking. First, you need to develop what I call abundance awareness. This means becoming conscious of your thoughts and feelings throughout the day, particularly your thoughts and feelings about money. Most people spend their days unconsciously worried about money, stressed about bills, frustrated about their financial situation. And all of these thoughts and feelings are programming their future for more of the same. Instead, you need to consciously choose abundance-based thoughts and feelings throughout your day. When you wake up, choose thoughts of gratitude for the abundance that's coming to you. When you're driving to work, choose thoughts of excitement about the opportunities you're going to create. When you're at work, choose thoughts of appreciation for your ability to create value. When you're paying bills, choose thoughts of gratitude for your ability to pay them and confidence in your ability to create even more money. This isn't about being fake or pretending that problems don't exist. It's about consciously choosing the mental and emotional states that create the results you want. Remember, the thinking substance is always responding to your current mental state. If you want abundant results, you need to consistently maintain abundant mental states. But here's the key. You can't just do this occasionally. You need to make abundance thinking a habit. You need to program your mind to automatically default to abundance-based thoughts and feelings. This is what Wattles called holding the thought of abundance, and it's the foundation of all successful wealth creation. The eighth and final principle that will completely revolutionize your relationship with money is this. Your mind is designed to make whatever you focus on expand in your life, and right now, you're probably focusing on all the wrong things when it comes to money. Most people focus on their lack of money, their debt, their expenses, their problems, and because the mind makes whatever you focus on expand, they get more lack, more debt, more expenses, more problems. But when you learn to focus on abundance, wealth, opportunities, and solutions, those things begin to expand in your life. This is what Wattles called the law of attraction through grateful thought. It's not just about positive thinking, it's about focused thinking. When you consistently focus your mental energy on abundance, you literally program your mind to create more abundance. Here's how you redirect your focus to create abundance. First, you need to identify what you're currently focusing on when it comes to money. Are you focusing on your bills or your income potential? Are you focusing on your debt or your wealth-building ability? Are you focusing on economic problems or economic opportunities? Are you focusing on what you can't afford or what you can create? Once you identify your current focus patterns, you can start redirecting your focus toward abundance. This doesn't mean ignoring problems or being irresponsible. It means choosing to focus the majority of your mental energy on solutions, opportunities, and possibilities rather than problems, obstacles, and limitations. For example, instead of focusing on how much debt you have, focus on how much wealth you're going to create. Instead of focusing on how expensive things are, focus on how much value you can provide. Instead of focusing on economic uncertainty, focus on your ability to create certainty through your own efforts. But here's the crucial part. You need to focus on abundance with emotion, not just with logic. You need to feel excited about the abundance you're creating. You need to feel grateful for the opportunities you're discovering. You need to feel confident about your ability to create wealth. Remember, your subconscious mind is programmed by emotion, not just by thoughts. The most powerful way to focus on abundance is through what I call abundance visualization. This is where you spend time each day mentally experiencing your abundant future as if it's already your present reality. You see yourself living abundantly. You feel the emotions of abundance. You experience the lifestyle of abundance. And the more real you make this mental experience, the more your subconscious mind accepts abundance as your natural state. Now, let me bring all of this together for you, because what I've just shared with you isn't just information. It's a complete system for reprogramming your mind to accept only abundance. You now understand that your current financial situation is a direct result of your current mental programming, and you have the exact tools to change that programming. You understand that your mind is constantly filtering reality based on your beliefs about money, and you know how to reprogram those filters to notice abundance instead of scarcity. You understand that your subconscious mind responds to vivid mental images combined with powerful emotions, and you know how to create an abundance blueprint that programs your mind for wealth. You understand that gratitude for future abundance is one of the most powerful wealth-building emotions, and you know how to practice advanced gratitude to accelerate your results. You understand the difference between creative thinking and competitive thinking, and you know how to shift your mind into creation mode where unlimited abundance becomes possible. You understand that your dominant thoughts determine your reality, and you know how to establish mental dominance over abundance. You understand that your properly programmed mind will guide you toward intelligent action, and you know how to tune into that guidance and act on it immediately. You understand that your present moment thoughts are creating your future circumstances, and you know how to consciously choose abundance-based thoughts and feelings throughout your day. And you understand that whatever you focus on expands in your life, and you know how to focus your mental energy on abundance with the emotion and intensity that creates real results. But knowing this information isn't enough. You have to implement it. You have to make these principles a part of your daily routine. You have to commit to reprogramming your mind for abundance, not just today or tomorrow, but every single day until abundance becomes as natural to you as breathing. Here's what I want you to do right now, today, before you go to sleep tonight. I want you to create your abundance blueprint. Spend at least 30 minutes creating a detailed mental movie of your ideal abundant life. Make it specific, make it vivid, make it emotional. See yourself living abundantly, feel the emotions of abundance, experience the lifestyle of abundance, and commit to reviewing this abundance blueprint every morning when you wake up and every night before you go to sleep. Tomorrow morning, I want you to start practicing advanced gratitude. Before you even get out of bed, spend 5 minutes being grateful for the abundance that's already on its way to you. Feel genuine gratitude for the money that's coming to you, for the opportunities that are about to present themselves, for the abundant life that's about to unfold. Throughout tomorrow, I want you to practice abundance awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings about money, and every time you catch yourself thinking poverty-based thoughts, immediately replace them with abundance-based thoughts. Make this a habit. Make it automatic. Make it obsessive. And finally, I want you to start asking yourself creation-based questions instead of competition-based questions. Instead of asking, how can I get more money? Ask, how can I create more value? Instead of focusing on your problems, focus on solutions. Instead of focusing on limitations, focus on possibilities. The truth is, everything you need to create unlimited abundance is already within you. You have access to the same thinking substance that every wealthy person who has ever lived has used to create their wealth. You have the same creative intelligence, the same infinite potential, the same ability to reprogram your mind for abundance. The only difference between you and the wealthiest people on the planet is that they've learned to program their minds to accept only abundance, while you've been programmed to accept struggle and limitation. But that programming can be changed. That programming will be changed. Starting right now. Your poverty-based programming served you in the past because it was all you knew, but now you know better. Now you understand how your mind really works. Now you have the tools to reprogram your mind for abundance. And when you commit to using these tools consistently, when you commit to thinking abundant thoughts, feeling abundant emotions, and taking abundant actions, poverty becomes literally impossible in your life. The universe wants you to be abundant. The thinking substance wants to flow through you to create wealth and prosperity. The only thing that's been stopping you is your programming. But that programming is being changed right now in this moment, as you commit to accepting only abundance in your life. From this moment forward, poverty is no longer an option for you. Struggle is no longer an option for you. Limitation is no longer an option for you. Your mind will now accept only abundance, because that's the only programming you're going to feed it. And when your mind accepts only abundance, the universe has no choice but to make you abundant. Welcome to your new abundant reality. Welcome to the life you were always meant to live. Welcome to the wealth that's already yours.